If you're looking to buy a small used travel trailer that should hit most of the bells and whistles on your wish list, you may want to consider a nice pre-owned RPod. This week, Jeff Johnston gives us a good in-depth look at a 2016 model that explains why these trailers are so popular. Now, who doesn't like a delicious dessert when out camping? Kate Dunbar, the Campground Gourmet, shows us how relatively simple it is to make a great apple pear crisp outdoors using a Dutch oven. Then, with winter coming on quickly, Mark and Don Polk from RV Education 101 show us the 5 RV storage tips you should follow prior to winterizing your RV for the year. These stories and more on this week's RVing Today TV. Closed and Spanish captioning, where available, is sponsored by Forest River. Follow the river.
Every once in a while, an RV comes along that seems to set a new standard in the industry. Its cosmetic good looks, features, and functionality all add up to a vehicle that becomes very popular. Well, the RPod trailer from Forest River has been around for a few years now, but it's still flying off the dealers' lots, and there's several good reasons for that. You know, the RPod, its cosmetics is what makes it really easy to identify, and part of one of the things that's made it so popular today. The colors are great, the graphics are minimal, it just looks nice. And part of what makes it really great to tow is its overall shape. That rounded configuration makes it very aerodynamic. The front up here, this helps cut through the wind regardless of what kind of tow vehicle you have on it. It just makes it really, really aerodynamic. And on the back, it's rounded down a little bit, and that too helps to ease its passage through the air. Now, in this particular floor plan that has a kitchen on the back, they brought the back end down straight, and that allows a little bit better cabinet space in the back for the kitchen. And the width, one of the things that you also see on the trailer, of course, is the fact that it has the fenders and the tires on the outside of the trailer. So the trailer's a little bit narrower than a standard one. That lets you put the tires and fenders on the outside, and that means you don't have wheel wells on the inside of the trailer to have to build cabinets and such around. And that's kind of a convenient thing for the designers. And there's a few other features on the outside here that are worth talking about as well. So let's take a closer look. Now, this particular floor plan of this trailer has only one exterior storage compartment. They use this really nice new high-tech magnetic latches, which are really handy. And this compartment runs all the way across the trailer on the front. In the back, it's a little bit shallower. It's not quite deep enough to be able to put a lawn chair or a camp chair in here. Those will have to go in your tow vehicle or on the floor, for example, inside the trailer. But this is big enough that can accommodate tools and small general hardware. And if you have longer items like tire pumps or anything that's under about 6.5 feet long, can go in crossways across the front. So it's a small compartment, but it's fairly functional. Now, one of the easy spotting features on the RPod, and it may be something that part of responsible for its popularity, is the fact that the body is fairly narrow. It's about 6'6" outside wall to wall. That not only helps to make it a little more compact and seemingly easier to tow, it also makes it a little less prone to wind resistance. I mean, it makes it slip through the air a bit easier. But that narrow body means it's possible to put the fenders and the tires on the outside. And that too is what gives it a look that is a little bit different than your average RV. And it's part of the popularity. This version of the RPod is called the Hood River Edition. Built in Dallas, Oregon, has a couple of features that are different than a standard RPod. First, it's got about 3 inches more suspension or chassis lift. That's provided by the design of the rubber torsion axle, which is a really great way to provide a soft, smooth suspension for a trailer like this. That extra 3 inches of lift means that you have extra clearance. So if you want to get off the pavement and go to a campground in a remote spot on a dirt road, you have less likelihood that you're going to be scraping or bottoming out on anything. And the Hood River Edition also includes these really cool, heavy-duty looking kind of off-road mud and snow tires. Gives it a little bit of that rugged Northwest look, along with the custom wheels. It's a fun package. One of the factors that makes small trailers like the RPod so popular is slide-out rooms. Now, this trailer is approximately 17 feet long in the body, but it's got a 9-foot slide-out, which is darn near a full-wall slide-out in something like this. Now, this slide-out contains the dinette over on this end and the refrigerator here, which is adjacent to the rear kitchen. We'll see more about those when we go inside the trailer. But this slide out adds so much extra space. It's not extremely deep, but it's deep enough that adds extra floor space, lets you make the dinette a little bit bigger, and generally speaking, it adds a lot of livability to a small rig like this. Well, the outside of the RPod, the cosmetics, is what catches people's eye the first time. And there's good reason for that. It's a great looking little trailer. But let's take a look on the inside. There's a lot of features in there that really make you realize why it's so popular and what makes it so great for livability. Let's go take a look. We'll be right back with more about the RPod trailer after these commercial messages. Stay tuned.
When Thetford launched AquaChem, it didn't take long before it became the #1 selling holding tank treatment for over 50 years. Until now. Meet AquaMax, Thetford's new generation of holding tank products that works even better and are also campground friendly and environmentally safe. Looks like a new #1 is taking over. For more information, visit thetford.com. Want more RVing today? Then visit RVingtoday.tv. Besides our weekly show and extended segments, you'll find additional stories and videos along with insightful information on what's new and what's happening around the world in RVing. From luxury RVs to unique camper vans, and from RVing with pets to RVing with kids. You'll find it all and more in RVingtoday.tv.
Let's continue our look at the Forest River RPod trailer, one of the most popular lightweight trailers on the market today. Nice. These little RPods have been pretty well known for having a tremendous amount of space and functionality on the inside. They've done a good job of designing things. Now this one happens to be the RPod 179. It's got the rear kitchen, side dinette in the slide out, and a forward bed. Now this rear kitchen arrangement, this is really great for cooks because if you happen to have cooking as kind of an emphasis for your RVing, this is a nice setup because it covers wall to wall in the rig. You've got a lot of open counter space here for working on food stuff. Little cover comes off the sink, and then when you're not using the sink, of course, you have more space there. And over on the other side, your generic Suburban 2-burner stove. Over on the side here, this is the back end of the slide out. And of course you have your Dometic 2-way refrigerator. Actually, this is a 3-way because it'll do both 120 volt AC gas and 12 volt electric. And a nice size microwave oven. This version of the RPod, the 179, has what amounts to being, like we mentioned on the outside, pretty much a full wall slide that includes the refrigerator, the microwave, and this dinette. And this U-shaped dinette is for a little bitty trailer. It's pretty darn big. I mean, you can accommodate 4 people sitting around here very easily for a card game or something like that. And it's pretty comfortable. The seats are, you can adjust the cushions and such as needed. And this table is portable. So in addition to positioning it inside where you find the best use for it, you could also take it outside, for example, and use it in your campsite. And it also adjusts for level. And this isn't quite so smooth operating, at least I don't do it right, but you release it, and this folds down far enough that you can turn this into a bed area as well. Lock it back up there. So this turns into an additional sleeping space, which would be kind of snug unless it just happens to be a couple of little kids. So if cooking is important to you, when you're looking at a floor plan, you kind of look at what you want to emphasize or what you really need or want out of an RV. If you got a cook in the family who really likes that, then this would be a good choice because of that big kitchen across the back end. And this would also be a good one for entertaining because you have this good-sized dinette. This floor plan includes a wet bath. It's got a toilet, kind of a built-in shower, and a really small sink in the corner. Another one of the RPod floor plans, on the other hand, has a bath that goes across the back of the vehicle with the separate showers. So it kind of depends on what's important to you. If you really want a good quality, a good size shower, you'd probably pick that other floor plan. Now this one also has a full-size bed up front. We'll take a quick look at that. What you might describe, that's full-size bed, maybe you can call it an RV queen or an RV full-size, but it's plenty wide because of the small overall size of the trailer. It's like the trailer is about 6'6" wall to wall on the outside. The bed space is about 6'3" approximately from wall to wall. So for the average size person, they're going to fit it just fine. I can't say that I fit, but then that's because that's my problem because I'm too tall for this sort of thing. But it was a very comfortable mattress, and we slept okay on it. And that's kind of when you're looking at RVs and you have your priorities, one of my personal priorities is having a comfortable place to sleep, more so than having a giant bathroom, for example. So this would be kind of a floor plan that I would be interested in. And my wife likes to cook, so the big kitchen would be cool for her. This would be a great floor plan for us. But the bed area, you got good sized windows on both ends for plenty of cross ventilation. Nice illumination up here. We'd kind of like to see a couple of lights up by the head of the bed, but you know, that's one of those small details. Everybody has different opinions about those things. The television is on a mount, so you can swing it around. You can watch it from the dinette area or move it back and be able to keep watching it from the bed area. And this, of course, is also adjacent to the stereo, which is really close to everything. Next to the bed, got a nice hanging wardrobe for shirts and things. And that's tops another set of three storage drawers. So there's a surprising amount of storage in here. And there's also storage overhead up above the dinette, which is very handy. The RPod was a good matchup for our Nissan Frontier pickup and would likewise tow well with other small vehicles.
For additional information on buying a used RPod, visit our website at rvingtoday.tv. From off-the-road adventure camping to luxurious full-time RVing and everything in between, Forest River has the RV to fit your needs, budget, and outdoor lifestyle. To see our full line of trailers and motorhomes, visit forestriverinc.com. Forest River. Begin the journey. At Norcoal, we realize that some of your favorite RV destinations are off the grid. And Norcoal refrigerators are uniquely designed with that RV experience in mind. We call it Freedom Unplugged. To learn more about our Norcoal RV refrigerator line or to find a dealer near you, visit our website at norcoal.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Dunbar, the Campground Gourmet. Today we are talking sweet. Sweet for breakfast or sweet for dessert. This is a recipe that is perfect if you've never tried Camp Dutch Oven cooking before. It doesn't get any simpler than this. We're going to be using a Camp Dutch Oven. I'm using my Dutch Oven cook table, and we're using fresh fruit, some apples, some pears, and some granola. It is a little bit healthy, but you'll never know it with the sweet flavor of maple syrup, candied ginger, and that warm cinnamon spice. Let's get to the ingredients and then the cooking technique. I have some Honeycrisp apples that this cute little bee is tasting right away for me. I have some canned pears in pear juice. I have some melted butter, some maple syrup, some slivered almonds, some candied ginger, and like I said, granola and cinnamon. So let's add this all together, and then I'm going to show you why I'm not preheating a Camp Dutch oven for this. I'm going to add the Honeycrisp apples. I have 3 of them that have been chopped up. Like I said, I have that can of pears in pear juice. And now I'm going to add in the almonds, the candied ginger, This is always a little bit sticky, so mixing it a bit right now will get all those little pieces distributed throughout this dish. Now I'm gonna add in half of the granola. We're gonna add it in now so it has that time to soak up the juices from the pears and from the apples. And then we're also gonna save this for the topping, so there's that nice crunchy bit at the top of it that gets all nice and golden and toasty. We're gonna add some cinnamon. Woo, the wind's taking it away with me today. About 1.5 teaspoons. We're gonna mix this up really well. And now we're gonna add in 1/4 cup of maple syrup. This is our sweet. If you don't like maple syrup, you can always add honey. Just mix this around. And we're gonna let this sit for a minute while we prep our Camp Dutch oven. Now, like I've said, I already have the fire going. I have my charcoal chimney that still has some hot coals in it that we'll be adding to the top. But why we're not preheating this is because I want everything to warm up at once. We're not searing, we're not sauteing. We want to just cook this slowly, Camp Dutch oven style. But there's a trick. Using a deep Dutch oven is the perfect way to make a crisp or a cobbler because there's a lot of room for steam, and that's what you want with this. We want to trap as much steam as possible. And I'm using parchment paper. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's an easy way to help with cleanup. You can also line your Camp Dutch oven with foil. It's no problem. Just take a sheet, press it right in, get it down all the way, and then take another sheet, open it up, and do it in the opposite direction so you have all the walls covered. So now we're gonna take our apples and pears and granola and ginger, the maple syrup, and the cinnamon, and add this right to it. Get every little bit. You don't wanna leave anything in the bowl. There we go. All right, set that aside. Now it's time to just press everything down into all the corners and then level it out. Smooth the top out. All right, let's take the remainder of the granola and sprinkle it evenly. And I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm just gonna swirl this in the pan really quick, and I'm gonna drizzle this right over the top. Not only is it gonna add delicious flavor, but it's gonna help with the browning for the granola and the apples. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna place the lid on this, making certain that the paper is sticking out, pressing it down, and now let's go over to the Camp Dutch oven table and let's see how this is cooked. Okay, so I've brought the Camp Dutch oven that has our apples and pears and crystallized ginger and that beautiful granola over to my Camp Dutch oven table. I have more heat at the base of this Camp Dutch oven than I do on top. I have just a little sprinkling of it because I don't want to force a ton of heat down through the Camp Dutch oven, because that would cause the granola to burn. And that is what I'm trying to avoid here today, and that is what I'm trying to show you today. So by having a stronger heat source down at the bottom, it's gonna cook those apples and force heat up through the Camp Dutch oven. I'm gonna give this about 10 minutes, and then we'll come on back and I'll show you how to do a rotation and check. I'm gonna put on my glove. I'm gonna lift up the bale wire handle. I'm gonna pick this up off of the stand and I'm gonna rotate it. And then I'm gonna take my lid lifter and I'm gonna give the lid an additional 45-degree turn. And now we're gonna let this go 10 more minutes and it should be done. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it is perfectly golden all across the top. The apples still have their pretty pink color, and that's what I love about Honeycrisp apples. They're gonna keep their shape, and more importantly, they're gonna keep that beautiful pinky red exterior color. I'm Kate Dunbar, the Campground Gourmet. I'll see you at the campfire. Bye.
You'll find this recipe and some great information on Dutch ovens right on our website. Be sure to check it out. Want more RVing today? Then visit RVingtoday.tv. Besides our weekly show and extended segments, you'll find additional stories and videos along with insightful information on what's new and what's happening around the world in RVing. From luxury RVs to unique camper vans, and from RVing with pets to RVing with kids. You'll find it all and more in RVingtoday.tv. When Thetford launched AquaChem, it didn't take long before it became the #1 selling holding tank treatment for over 50 years. Until now. Meet Aquamax, Thetford's new generation of holding tank products that works even better and are also campground friendly and environmentally safe. Looks like a new #1 is taking over. For more information, visit thetford.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Polk with RV Education 101. When temperatures drop, we winterize our RV so we won't have problems next spring, but winterizing your RV is only part of preparing the RV for winter storage. Lots of folks don't think about it, but proper RV storage procedures are just as important as winterizing the RV's plumbing system. Here are my top 5 RV storage tips. These RV storage tips do not cover everything you need to be concerned about when storing your RV, but it's a good start. RV storage tip number 1. When preparing the unit for storage, I always wash the exterior and clean the interior thoroughly. Make sure all awning fabric is clean and dry before stowing the awnings. This is a good time to inspect all roof seams, body seams, and window sealant for any cracks or openings that would let water penetrate the surface. Water can get in the smallest openings, so it's important that you really inspect all of the sealants. Consult your RV owner's manual or RV dealer for sealants compatible with any surfaces you are resealing. RV storage tip number 2. The best storage scenario is to store your RV indoors or under a covered area, but that's not always possible. If the RV is stored outside, avoid parking it under trees or in areas where grass and weeds will grow. The sun and other elements can damage your RV. The best investment you can make for an RV stored outside is a quality RV cover. The cover should be made of a breathable material to help promote air circulation and to prevent mold and mildew. RV storage tip number 3. Inflate the tires to the manufacturer's recommended pressure. Place some type of blocking between the tires and the ground. Make sure the blocking is larger than the actual footprint of the tire to prevent damage to the tires. Cover the tires to protect them from the sun and harmful UV rays. RV storage tip number 4. Inspect the underside of the unit thoroughly. Look for anywhere mice or other rodents can get inside and seal these areas using silicone or a spray foam product. You can use mouse and ant traps in and around the unit or use a product like Sniff and Stop to prevent mice from nesting inside the RV. Remove all consumables that would attract mice and other rodents, and remove all perishables and anything that can freeze. Defrost the freezer compartment and clean the refrigerator. Place some baking soda inside to absorb odors and leave the refrigerator doors propped open. RV storage tip number 5. Make sure the batteries are prepared for winter storage. Batteries self-discharge when in storage. A discharged or partially charged battery will freeze much faster than a fully charged battery. Check the battery state of charge every month and charge batteries that are at or below 12.5 volts for 12-volt batteries or 6.25 volts for 6-volt batteries. Check the electrolyte level in lead-acid batteries and add distilled water as required. You can plug the RV in once a month for about 8 hours to keep the coach batteries topped off, or use a product like Battery Minder to keep batteries topped off. In addition to these RV storage tips, if it's a motorized RV, I recommend you fill the fuel tank prior to storage and add a fuel stabilizer. Run the engine and the generator long enough to get the stabilizer through the entire fuel system. It's also a good idea to change the oil and oil filter on the engine and generator prior to storage. Acids accumulate in used oil and can corrode engine bearings. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that these tips don't cover everything about storing your RV, but if you winterize your RV and follow these simple storage tips, your RV will be ready for the upcoming camping season next spring. Happy camping!
For more information on anything you saw in this week's episode, along with additional videos, interesting stories, and RV news, visit our website at rvingtoday.tv. This has been another fun production.